President Muhammadu Buhari hails Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State and Governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State. House of Representatives to investigate reduction in cut-off marks for admission into tertiary institutions by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB. Federal High Court sitting in Abuja disqualified SURF from hearing the case against leader of Boko Haram splinter group, Muhammad Usman. And the National Assembly soon to transmit amended sections of the 1999 Constitution as amended to the State Houses of Assembly for their concurrence. Good evening. Welcome to NTA Network News. I am Muhammad Kuda Abubakar. Reading with me tonight is Ademola in Lagos and Kemi Akiwande is in Ibadan. The imperative of the executive and the legislative arms of government to work together towards revamping the Nigerian economy through rejuvenation of the country's revenue generation base has been stressed. This is the consensus at the Senate Joint Committee meeting on Finance and Appropriations. National Assembly correspondent Dennis Adegunloye reports.
The briefing is sequel to the announcement that Nigeria had come out of the recession, and the lawmakers wanted details on implementation of the 2017 budget so far, as well as projections in terms of revenue generation.
Nigerians need to know how far we have gone, what we hope to achieve, the successes and problems or obstacles relating against the implementation of the budget.
The Senate's first resolution on this matter was for the two ministers to appear at the Senate plenary. I mean, that just underscores how important the Senate considers this.
Minister of Budget and National Planning, Udoma Udoma, clarifying some misconceptions, noted that 1.2 trillion naira of the 2016 budget was released between January and June in accordance with the law, and this was a major factor in Nigeria exiting recession.
We did release, there was a lot of activity, a lot of releases because our intention, and the intention was to reflate the economy, and which was why we, as you recall, the proposals that we made and which you supported and accepted was to have at least 30% for capital. And I thank you for that support, and I think it's working together in the way that we have worked together that the economy is moving in the right direction.
Minister of Finance Kemi Adeosun was pleased that revenue generation is better compared to the second quarter of last year.
The net oil receipts compared to this time last year, second quarter last year, if you compare the figures, we're up by 30.7%. So the second quarter actual for 2016 was 349.56. And this second quarter we're at 456.89, so that's up by 30%, which is to be expected because of where we were last year in terms of both oil price and the challenges we had in the Niger Delta. But what's more encouraging is the non-oil, because of course we're coming out from a recessed economy. We're seeing VAT at 243.31 compared to 194.61 last year. We're seeing companies' income tax at 206.38 compared to 171.71 last year, and customs and excise at 139.59 compared to 102.18 last year. So overall 22.55 growth in non-oil, which I think is very encouraging. Now on the releases, we're fully on course in terms of salaries and our and our personnel-related obligations.
Both ministers, however, emphasized the need for continued support of the National Assembly in terms of fine-tuning legislations on borrowing, presidential approval of budgets of ministries, departments and agencies, MDAs, and revenue generation. At the end of the vibrant interactions between the legislators and the ministers, the need for collaborative efforts between the two arms of government was emphasized. From the National Assembly, Dennis Adegunloye, NTA News.
President Muhammadu Buhari this Tuesday granted audience to the governors of Anambra and Ondo states, as well as the Minister of Mines, Steel Development, in furtherance of his strategic consultations for sustainable peace, security, and development of the country. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
How are you?
Very well. Very nice to see you, sir.
Yeah.
Very nice to see you.
Please sit down.
Thank you.
For Governor Willie Obiano of Anambra State, the meeting with President Muhammadu Buhari, which centered on governance, the prevailing peace enterprise, and the forthcoming governorship election in the state, was fruitful and fulfilling.
He likes governors who are hardworking, who are delivering on what people can see, who are bringing dividend of democracy to their people. That's what the president wants. He doesn't care your party. He wants to know that you're doing well in this area, in that area, and that's how a president should work. We had a very beautiful discussion, and I'm very happy that I was able to see him.
The governor, who is seeking re-election for a second term in office, solicits for a level playing field in the conduct of the exercise. His Ondo State counterpart, Rotimi Akeredolu, who is yet to clock 1 year in office, is more concerned about the economic prosperity of his state and its people.
We have mineral deposits in large number, and we need to have a deep-sea mining port. Ondo State is well suited for it, so we just to that point with Mr. President to at least interest him in this, what we believe it will be a lasting legacy if we are able to accomplish it in his own time. There is no other place in this country today where big ships can berth. Not in Lagos, not in Calabar, not anywhere. That's why what you do is that you see so many ships right there on the IC, and you get smaller ones to get the goods here, or get smaller ones to get. No, we need a deep sea port where the biggest of ship in anywhere in the world can berth, and that is in Ondo State. That's why we are here.
On his part, the Minister of Mines and Steel Development, Kayode Fayemi, was invited to keep the president up to speed on plans towards the revitalization of the Ajaokuta Steel Company and the aluminium smelting company, Ikot-Abasi.
I told him about the efforts that the Vice President is leading on ensuring that we have a definitive solution to the sale of the aluminium smelting plant in Ikot-Abasi, and that we also move forward with the resolution and agreement we've reached on the Ajaokuta steel plant so that we get ready for the reconcessioning. So we have appointed transaction advisors. We have also changed the leadership there in Ajaokuta currently because the term of office of the current occupant has expired. So those are the issues that Mr. President asked for an update on, and we've given it to him.
The minister takes pride in the significant contributions of the mineral resources sector to the GDP and national revenue.
This year alone, we've exceeded even the target given to us by the Ministry of Planning and Budget. And it's an upswing. If you look at the National Bureau of Statistics reports, you would see definitively that the two sectors that are growing even against the trend during recession were agriculture and solid minerals, and we need to build on that.
President Muhammadu Buhari insists that the momentum be kept in view of the uncertain future in the oil industry. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
For Nigeria to make the desired change to reposition the country for the better, the National Orientation Agency, NOAA, is tasking the youths to be nationalistic in thinking and not to be parochial. NOAA stated these at a summit organized as part of the 57th Independence Day celebrations held in Abuja. Olayin Kawaju reports.
Targeted at Nigerian youths, as it is important for them to work together so as not to allow the labors of the heroes past to be in vain, the forum is aimed at changing the narratives. With the theme, Building a Harmonious and Lovely Nation, youths were urged to engage in ventures that promote peace rather than destructive acts.
Don't make yourself available for evil. Make yourself available for good.
Using simple arithmetics to illustrate that luck and money are not what the nation needs, NOA's Director, Political, Civic, Ethics and Values, Ngozi Ekeoba, noted that what is needed to achieve the Nigeria of the Founding Fathers' dream is change of attitude.
Once you have a negative attitude towards things, you will not succeed.
There are most of us that say that we are Yorubas, we are Igbos, we are this, we are that. But the first thing that I was supposed to say is that I am a Nigerian, and because of that, I am an Igala.
We need to change ourselves first.
With the waving of the national flag, the forum agreed that, aside patriotism, Nigerians' attitude towards life and work is what makes life and the nation 100% successful. In Abuja, Olainka Uju, NTA News.
To the legislature now, the House of Representatives has mandated its Committee on Tertiary Education and Services to investigate the reduction in the cut-off marks for admission into tertiary institutions by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board, JAMB. This follows a motion moved by Representative Hassan Saleh from Benue State. National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nko reports.
The House of Representatives was on recess when JAMB announced a new cut-off mark for admission into tertiary institutions in Nigeria, a decision that elicited divergent views from Nigerians. And as the House of the Nigerian people, the House of Representatives has resolved to investigate that decision as moved by Representative Hassan Saleh.
And for us to sit here and begin to see a policy that will further reduce the standard of education in our country, I think it will be a disservice.
And we are now taking 25 that is supposed to be F.
It's really reverberated beyond the borders of Nigeria.
My concern is that in trying to achieve their objective in their consideration, they are sending the wrong signals.
As part of measures to expand Nigeria's international trade, the legislators have passed for second reading a bill for an act to repeal the provisions of the Export Prohibition Act, sponsored by Representative Dozie Nwankwo.
For example, our yam is taken to Ghana, and then it is now labeled as yam produced in Ghana and then exported.
It is not good enough to keep hammering on exportation in order to get foreign exchange.
The need to reintroduce technical and vocational education into Nigeria's education system was adopted, moved by Representative Akinyade Awodumila. The House approved the report of its Committee on Information, National Orientation, Ethics and Values on a bill for an act to establish a National Agency for Ethics and Values.
We really talk about ethics, but nobody was shadowed with the responsibility to make sure this is followed to the letter.
21 constitutional amendment bills voted by the House in July have been read for a third time. A new member, Dorati Mato, representing Konshisha Vandakia, Federal Constituency of Benue State, was sworn in. She replaces Haman Hembe, who was sacked by the Supreme Court. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nko, NTA News.
Still at the National Assembly, the Assembly will soon transmit the amended sections of the 1990 Constitution to State Houses of Assembly for concurrence. This was announced at a retreat for members of the Gombe State House of Assembly holding in Abuja. National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi Aminu reports.
The retreat, which specifically focused on good governance through effective lawmaking, is to keep the members and management staff of the State Assembly abreast of emerging global techniques of legislation. Speaker Yakubu Dogara said the House of Representatives has examined proposals seeking autonomy for state houses of assembly towards achieving good governance.
That will require more than just the role of the legislator. It will require courage on your part to pass them. By a page two, if we pass them, this nation is going to be better for it.
The idea of inviting our senators and members of the House of Representatives is to build a strong legislative relationship and put Gombe State forward, irrespective of our differences in political affiliations.
A paper titled Concurrent Powers of the National and State Houses of Assembly was presented by Dr. Shuaiba Abdullahi Dawanka of the National Institute for Legislative Studies. It focused on the means for legislative functions to facilitate effective constitutional alteration exercise.
There should be a proper context in which the discussion should be carried out. There should be a platform. And I think the platform should be directed towards the National Assembly as federal lawmaking organ of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
More presentations are expected at the two-day retreat. In Abuja, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Hamid Ali, has given a 3-month ultimatum to the officers and men of the service to stop the smuggling of commodities, especially rice. The customs boss gave the charge in Abuja at the decoration of the Deputy and Assistant Controller General who had been on acting capacity. Edino Justice now reports.
The promoted officers, who are also members of the management team, are 5 deputy and 8 assistant controllers general of customs. The custom boss, while challenging the officers to see their promotion beyond hard work, enjoined them to be grateful to God. He noted that their selections were based on strict criteria.
With leadership and management of Nigerian Customs Service to ensure that in the next 3 months that we have reduced smuggling to the barest minimum. If that's our job to protect our agricultural policy, it is our job to make sure that our farmers benefit from the government policy.
The Controller General also commended the service for being the first to comply with the Women Affirmative Action, with 6 women in a management team of 18.
One of the things that is being promoted by WCO is representation in the service. Equality between women and men.
We all promise here today, our commitments and dedication, we are going to make it. With the kind of leadership we have here in Customs today, it is a must that must be done.
A minute silence was observed in memory of the officers who lost their lives on line of duty. In Abuja, Edina Justice, NTA News.
A federal high court sitting in Abuja has disqualified itself from hearing the case between the federal government and the leader of a Boko Haram splinter group, Muhammad Usman, and 7 others who are standing trial for alleged act of terrorism. The trial judge, Justice John Tsoho, in a ruling on an oral application by the counsel to the defendants accusing the court of bias, ordered the case file to be transferred to the chief judge of the court for reassignment. Dele Atumbi reports.
Leader of the Boko Haram splinter group, popularly known as Ansar, Mohammed Usman, and 7 others are standing trial on 11-count charge bordering on act of terrorism purportedly committed in the northeast region of the country. At the resumed sitting of the court Tuesday, the prosecution counsel Shuaibu Liberan told the court of his readiness to commence trial. He equally pleaded for speedy trial. Counsel to the defendant raised the objection of his clients, accusing the court of being biased based on the purported rulings on their detention in the DSS facility against the same court earlier ruling on the day of the arraignment for them to be detained in prison custody. Based on this and the claimed dehumanizing experience in the facility where they are being kept, the defendant, through their counsel, pleaded with the court to disqualify itself. Prosecution counsel opposed the oral application, pointing out that it was a strategy to stall trial. In a ruling, Justice John Tozo said the objection of the defendants in a criminal matter over their trial by a court is a fundamental right for fair hearing. The court thereby hands off the case for reassignment.
We are very consistent, urging the court to ensure speedy trial in this case.
The defendants, they've expressed the view that they are not comfortable with the court.
The implication of this ruling is that the case will have to start all over when it is reassigned. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
A Nigerian, Zanna Mustafa, who is the founder of the Future Paradise School in Maiduguri, Borno State, has received the 2017 Nansen Refugee Award presented by the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Presenting the award in Geneva, Switzerland, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, commended what he described as the uncommon humanitarian posture of Zanna Mustafa for catering to the welfare of victims of Boko Haram in Nigeria's northeast, especially women and children. Ado Adamo also reports.
Zanna Mustafa founded the Future Paradise School in Maiduguri to cater for the children orphaned by insurgency. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees at the ceremony in Geneva, Switzerland, presented the award to Zanna Mustafa amidst applause.
Our 2017 Nansen Refugee Award winner, Mr. Zanna Mustafa. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
And this is the award.
UNHCR High Commissioner Filippo Grandi commended the awardees' standing contribution in humanitarian services in the northeastern part of Nigeria ravaged by Boko Haram insurgency. Zanna Mustafa, while receiving the award, appealed for a collective support for children in conflict zones to enable them go to school and make their lives better.
Your Excellency, this is yours. Thank you very much. Once more. Thank you. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Zanna Mustafa was announced the 2017 recipient of the nascent United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees Award in an event in Abuja. Adwa Demwalso, NTA News.
You can watch this news live online via the NTA mobile app, which you can download on your Android devices at the Google Play Store or at the Apple Store if you use devices with iOS. Still to come, Independence National Electoral Commission to deploy 6,200 card readers for the Anambra governorship election scheduled for November the 18th. These and more stories after this break.
From 1967 to 1970, Nigeria went through a horrifying civil war. It didn't matter who was wrong or right. Everybody suffered. Those who fought that war say it should never happen again.
So a lot of people will say, but you were leading the first one. Yes, I led the first one. I don't think a second one is necessary. We should have learned from that first one. Otherwise, the dead would have been to no avail, would all have been in vain.
The words of our elders are full of wisdom.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
How many locations competition is in? Who knows?
6 in Lagos, 8 in Abuja, and opening another in about next week.
Who's the guy?
No, man. Moses was at Chelsea. Then he went to Liverpool. But before that, he was at
Crystal Palace 2007. Joined Chelsea 2012. 42 career goals.
This coffee is nice. I wonder where it's from.
This blend is actually from Brazil. However, coffee originated in Ethiopia in the 13th century.
Wow. Connect from any network with Glow MiFi. Share and enjoy 4G data speeds on any 2G or 3G device nationwide.
Flavor.
Real name is Chinedu Okoli, born 1983.
Chinedu.
The largest data network, Glow, grandmasters of data.
Hey, now who they here? My name now Mr. Shortcut. I dey mind my money. Now cheap one I dey buy. Standard, we say. Now to buy cheap one. Hey, now one kind cable for my yard and cheap building material where we take build my office. I think say I dey save money. Office building collapse and fire burn my house.
You don't see what happened to Mr. Shortcut? Well, Standards Organization of Nigeria, SON, done ready for action and say enough of pain, loss and wastage. And if you see product where no dey correct, call the SON office when near you or SON help desk. Standards Organization of Nigeria, improving life through standards.
Madam, give me the bar. Correct. One more.
Enjoy times 4. This night the levels of MTN. I will for you. I will for me. For me. I give you a will try for everybody. Times 4. I will for you.
I will for me. I will for you. I will for everybody.
With MTN, I will for you. Every day now jolly. Anytime when you recharge from 100 naira, MTN go summer you 4 times your recharge. Where you fit take call, text or browse. Meaning say you will get 4 times the value. Yay! Just dial *888 star the recharge pin hash to enjoy this better woo. This offer now for only MTN prepaid and postpaid customers. Terms and conditions they show.
MTN. Everywhere you go.
The annual Space Week is here again. The Nigeria Erosion and Watershed Management Project, NEWMAP, in collaboration with World Bank South-South Knowledge Exchange between China, India, and Nigeria, hosts International Conference on Geospatial Technology, tagged SSKE Knowledge Fair, to commemorate the World Space Week 2017. Participants have been drawn from the academia, Nigerian Space Agency, China, and the Karnataka Watershed Project in India. Chief host, Honorable Minister of State for Environment. Date, October 4 to 6, 2017. Time, 9 a.m. daily. Salisu Dahiru for Local Organizing Committee. Announcer.
We want to buy Indomie noodles. 4 packs, please.
Yo.
This is not my Indomie. Please, sir, if it's not Indomie, don't call it Indomie. Sir, the taste is the difference. The difference is in the taste. That's why my brothers, my mommy, my daddy, and I all enjoy our delicious, so very delicious Indomie noodles. The difference is the taste.
Taste is the difference.
Yes, difference is in the taste. Nothing tastes like my Indomie.
Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant. To achieve our creed as we promise, we shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Sir Abubakar Tafawa Balewa, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Sir Ahmadu Bello, Chief Obafemi Awolowo.
These patriots worked together to achieve independence for one united Nigeria. Although some may say Nigeria is a mistake, we all know that the Almighty never makes mistakes.
God has not made a mistake by bringing us all together in the way that He has brought us together. God has put us together here so that we can build a community that will be an example to the entire world.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
Thank you for remaining with NTA Network News. 6,200 card readers will be deployed to 326 wards in 21 local government areas of Anambra State for the November 18 governorship election. INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu disclosed this at a meeting with media representatives in Abuja. Ifeanyi Okafor now reports.
Taking stock of the efforts towards successful elections in Anambra, INEC Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu said the Commission is engaging about 20,000 ad hoc staff who will be trained adequately on operating the smart card reader and other electoral processes. He said 46 electoral observers have so far been accredited to monitor the election. On security, he stated that the police has given assurances on safety throughout the exercise, with the flashpoints identified for enhanced surveillance. He said 37 political parties fielded candidates for the governorship elections and assured that the exercise will be free, fair, and concluded at first ballot. For the 2019 general elections, the presidential and National Assembly elections will hold on Saturday, 16 February 2019, while the governorship, state assembly and the Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections is for Saturday, 2nd March 2019.
Once we complete the election project plan, a number of activities will commence, one of which is the election budget. We are approaching 2018. How much will the 2019 elections cost this country? We're unable to give you a figure now because we want to make sure that we conclude the election project plan.
The Commission's data of the continuous voter registration exercise carried out between 27th of April to 22nd of September 2017 indicates that a total of 2.78 million people were registered nationwide. From the INEC headquarters, Abuja, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
Still in Anambra State, the Governor, Willie Obiano of the All Progressives Grand Alliance, APGA, has formally kicked off campaign for the November 18th governorship polls with a promise to complete the Anambra State Airport project if re-elected. The governor stated this at a rally in Oka. Uchenna Nwekoyo reports.
APGA supporters from different parts of the state chanting solidarity for Governor Willie Obiano, the national chairman of the party, Victor Ikeoye, the director, Willie Obiano Re-election Campaign Committee, Victor Ume, former Minister of Information, Labran Maku, and many other party stalwarts from different parts of the country took turn to recount why Governor Willie Obiano should be re-elected.
I can tell you, this is the best governor in this country now. APGA is a wonderful party.
Governor Obiano, while addressing the crowd, promised to complete the state's airport project if re-elected. He advised candidates of other political parties to carry out their campaign with decorum.
I must quickly remind you all that we are all brothers and sisters, and this state belongs to all of us. Elections will come and go, but Anambra will be there. You must resist every temptation to make this election a do-or-die affair.
The popular Nigerian hip-hop musician Fino and masquerades added glamour to the event. Governor Obiano also stopped over at a Koka market where he interacted with traders. From Oka, Uchenna Nwekoyo, NTA News.
Still on party politics, a special convention of the Labour Party held in Abuja has endorsed Mike Omotosho as the party's national chairman for 1 year before its national convention scheduled for 2018. This follows the ratification of the suspension of the party's national chairman, Abdul Qadir Abdul Salam, and 2 other national officers for alleged mismanagement of party funds. Chikunoso Nwaboeze reports.
The Special National Convention, presided by the party's Deputy National Chairman South, Callistus Uju-Okafor, upheld the suspension of its National Chairman Abdul Qadir Abdul Salam, National Treasurer Oluchi Opera, and the National Legal Advisor Akingbade Oyelekon for alleged financial mismanagement. The convention also agreed to chart a new course under the leadership of its new National Chairman, Mike Omotosho.
The Labour Party and its ideals have been identified with greatness and activities that are welfarist in nature, and that exactly is the agenda we intend to push as a party.
The convention, which was observed by the officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, also confirmed Uche Ugwoji as its acting state chairman in Anambra, Emeka Nkwala, Delta, and Ben Obobra, Rivers State.
We want to restructure this party and reshape this party so that the party can be one of the leading parties, or rather, the leading party.
The delegates and other leaders of the party from 34 states across the country thereafter accompanied Mike Omotosho to the party's national headquarters in Abuja to officially resume duties as its national chairman. Meanwhile, all efforts to reach the suspended national chairman for his reaction on the allegations that led to their removal proved abortive. In Abuja, Chukunonso Nwaboeze, NTA News.
Nasarawa state government has commenced the evacuation of all trailers and illegal motor parts along Mararaba-Nyanya Highway for free flow of traffic into Abuja, the nation's capital. Governor Umaru Tanko Almakura explained that this is part of measures adopted to address the plight of commuters. Joshua Ojito reports.
Traffic congestion along Mararaba-Nyanya Highway remains one of the major challenges of commuters plying the ever-busy route that links the nation's capital with Nasarawa State and other parts of the country. In addition to providing alternative routes within Karu, the state government has banned any form of commercial activities on the setbacks of the highway. Development Control Unit of the State Urban Development Board and other security agencies have been mandated to ensure compliance.
All people that are living in those lock-up shops temporarily would have to move out completely Nobody who is not allocated a piece of land there can stay anywhere there. Some, Masudoya, Masumenene, Mas whatever. They should all migrate here. If you want to have an open market, come to this area and have an open market.
Already, the state government has provided 5 hectares of land beside the new Karu International Market for petty traders free for their commercial activities and directed all traders along the highway to relocate to the open space. From Karu in Nasarawa State, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Information and Culture Minister talks on grassroots projects. Ademola has this story and others trending from our Lagos Network Center. Demola, you are good to go.
Thank you, Kudu. Good evening and a warm welcome to Lagos. Nigeria's continued existence and economic prosperity can only be achieved in an atmosphere of peace and justice. This was the thrust of discussions by panelists at a forum organized by the Buhari Youth Organization in Lagos. Amechi Pius was there.
For quite some time now, there has been robust national dialogue on restructuring of Nigeria with threats against the unity of the country. This development has continued to generate concerns among many Nigerians. For participants at this forum, some of those clamoring for restructuring and secession are misguided.
Some of these grievances, they are predicated on ignorance. And that's why I mentioned the issue of perception. Perception may not be reality, but what people hold on to, by and large, is perception. So you need to educate, you need to engage, you need to interact, you need to build consensus.
Panelists at the interactive session would rather that efforts be made at tackling poverty, corruption, and nepotism, all of which they agreed have had negative implications on the economy.
The window of opportunity for us to address these things has been thrown up. And what is that window of opportunity? Restructuring. If we have to start agitating because we think we are marginalized, then the entire country will go into agitations.
According to them, it has therefore become imperative to support the present administration to build a foundation for good governance and institutions that will engender peace, justice of the nation.
We want a united Nigeria. We don't want war, and we don't want an instance where someone or politicians will turn Nigeria to another Rwanda.
They were emphatic on their submissions that the unity of Nigeria is sacrosanct and cannot be compromised. In Lagos, Amechi Pius, NTA News.
Provision of facilities that impact directly on the grassroots population is one of the hallmarks of representative democracy. A member of the Lagos State House of Assembly who believes in this ideology is Folajimi Lai Mohammed, who has provided facilities for a primary school and youths in his Onigbongbo constituency of Lagos State. Lil Lenike has the details.
Poor infrastructure has been identified as one of the challenges of education in Nigeria. Government's inability to adequately provide this critical input has led to interventions by individuals and non-governmental organizations to support government efforts. One of such individuals is Folajimi Lai Mohammed, member representing Onigbongbo constituency in the Lagos State House of Assembly. His donation of chairs and tables to the Army Model Primary School at Ikeja Cantonment is to contribute to the provision of conducive environment for learning for the pupils of the school.
We realized that there was an educational intervention that was needed within this particular ward, so we decided that we'll look for the school that needed it most, and we decided we'd donate 50 chairs and tables to the school to enable the learning condition of the students.
As far as the local government is concerned, we have almost 17 primary schools now. And if the honorable that is representing us will help off in some, so that the local government can take care of the remaining ones.
Particularly happy that Jimmy has proved that indeed the youth can handle situations and they understand what it is to serve the people.
Youths at Onigbongbo community are also beneficiaries of a car wash, a facility provided by the legislator to engage the youths positively in the area. In Lagos, Lynn Lenake, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Stay with us.
All night. Emergency.
We are losing her. We are losing her.
Don't worry. I'll save her. Driver!
What is wrong with you?
Building burnt down.
What?
It was life or death.
He sent boy.
I've got the dog. Hey, Mr. Man, wake up! Yeah.
This is fire!
My resignation letter, sir.
Warning, with so much Glow data, you may get carried away. These data plans are available to all new customers and existing customers who renew their plans. Dial *777#. The largest data network. Glow, grandmasters of data.
This must be one of Mother Nature's greatest gifts. But there's something else it gives us. When we see such beauty, we want to share it with those we love. That's what LG wants you to see. Just what we see now, through our technology. LG OLED TV.
The Administrative Staff College of Nigeria, ASCON, wishes to invite senior officers and directorate staff of both military and paramilitary services in the Federation to its second edition of a 3-day national workshop. Theme: Security Management in a Democratic Dispensation. Date: 9th to 11th October 2017. Venue: ASCON Complex, Topo Badagry. Fee: 70,000 naira per delegate. Payment mode: name of account, ASCON collection account, payable at any commercial bank. Account number 023-005-586-1019. For further inquiries, please contact Barrister Kolawole Alagbe, Workshop Director on 00-333-074-08 or Harun Akapo, Workshop Coordinator on 00-239-334-66. Visit www.ascon.gov.ng. Announcer, Director General, ASCON.
You're watching NTA Network News, coming to you live from our Abuja Network studios. Azman Air has recorded another landmark in its international services with the launch of additional aircraft, Airbus 330, to consolidate the successes the company achieved so far in few years of its operations. Elizabeth Gela Lamido, who was at the launch, reports that Kano State Governor and the Emir of Kano were among dignitaries that attended the event.
Launching the new Airbus 330, the company intends to boost its international operation after it began Hajj and Umrah services recently. The new Airbus, which has the capacity to carry 283 passengers, will be an addition to the fleet of aircrafts acquired by the company to meet the need of its customers. President, Azman Group of Companies, Abdul Munaf Yunus Sarina, in company of Governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Umar Ganduji, and the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II, jointly unveiled the new aircraft. In his speech, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduji said the aircraft will further open more economic activities in the state.
This single project has added another feather to our commercial greatness here in Kano. But we are not surprised because Azman has succeeded in the airline industry.
Faisal Abdul Munaf Sarina is the managing director, Azman Air.
We have been operating now for close to 4 years. We have 4 aircraft. There's no record of any incident whatsoever. If you look at our slogan, you will see that it is fly safe, fly Azman. There's no compromise on safety at all.
The Airbus 330 will soon begin airlift of passengers from Kano to countries like Dubai, China, and UK. This is the third aircraft that's being launched this year by the company, with 2 additional ones expected to arrive the country soon. In Kano, Elizabeth Yilalamidu, NTA News.
Kwara State Governor swears in new head of service. Details of these and more with Kemi in Ibadan. Hello, Kemi. Over to you.
Thank you, Kudu. Good evening and welcome to Ibadan.
Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has restated his commitment to women participation and emancipation in the state. He stated this while swearing in Mrs. Susan Modupe Oluwole as the new head of service in the state. Abdul Wahid Bibiri reports that Mrs. Oluwole is the second female head of service in Kwara State.
Kwara State Governor Alhaji Abdul Fattah Ahmed said the choice of Mrs. Modupe Oluwole was due to her good track records and the determination to give more opportunity to the women folks. Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed enjoined her to bring to bear her experiences in the civil administration to further develop the workforce for high performance.
While both women were recommended for their position by experience and competence, their emergence also underlines this administration's determination to promote merit while simultaneously providing more opportunities for women to serve at the highest levels of government.
In her acceptance speech, Mrs. Modupe Susan Oluwole pledged to discharge her duties diligently and solicit for government support to make her tenure a turning point in Kwara State. Mrs. Modupe Susan Oluwole joined the Kwara State Civil Service in 1989 and was appointed a permanent secretary in 2015, the position she held until her new appointment. Abdul Wahid Bibire, NTA News.
With the incessant increase in Nigeria's population, food security has become top priority for government. Coupled with the campaign against climate change, the call to increase yield using quality seeds has become priority for agricultural research. Ayomiku Ajibola in this report takes a look at the availability of quality seeds to farmers.
Seed is one of the least expensive but the most important factor affecting yield. One of the issues holding back our country's agricultural production is farmer failure to access quality seed. According to statistics, over 60% of farmers still plant seed safe from their harvest. Many lack adequate information about the advantages of planting good quality seed, while some depend on donation of seed from politicians without paying due attention to quality.
They should go to a registered company to purchase their seeds and seedling material. If they have any challenge, they can easily revert back to where it was purchased.
After a lot of work, a lot of hazards and all that, they're not getting good output.
A farmer, Sunday Amoson, says quality seeds are available at Research Institute, but stress farmers need more information about the availability and where to buy them.
When you are talking of the germination percentage, when we plant them, they always have a very high germination percentage.
It is believed if majority of Nigerian farmers have access to quality seed, it will improve the country's food security, while low-yield seed will make the country dependent on imported foods. In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
And that's it from Ibadan. Kudu, it's back to you.
Thank you, Kemi. Up ahead, global tidbits, sports, and the weather forecast after this timeout.
Nigeria at 57, consolidating one united and indivisible nation. This is the focus on NTA Tuesday Live this week. Tuesday Live promises to be incisive, educating, and informative. Don't miss it.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, is working to ensure access to safe, good quality essential medicines with the World Health Organization pre-qualification of made in Nigeria pharmaceutical products, stiffer penalties for fake drug offenders with a review of NAFDAC laws, national, regional, and international collaborations, cutting-edge technologies, including the mobile authentication service.
The production and distribution of counterfeit medicine and adulterated food products have negative impact on our health and economy as a whole. I urge all Nigerians to support NAFDAC in safeguarding our health. God bless Nigeria.
Let us support NAFDAC to win the war against fake drugs and other unwholesome regulated products. NAFDAC, safeguarding the health of the nation.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
I was distressed to notice that some of the comments, especially in the social media, have crossed our national red lines by daring to question our collective existence as a nation. This is a step too far.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement brought to you by NTA.
For latest developments on the international scene, here's Nancy Goody Anunihu.
Welcome to this bit. Grenade attacks have taken place at homes of 2 Ugandan opposition MPs, including singer-turned-politician Robert Kyagulanyi. Mr. Kyagulanyi said he was targeted for opposing the ruling party's plan to scrap the presidential age limit. It will be recalled that Uganda's